She's so confident. Exactly. I think that's so telling how confident she is to just say, I have no qualms lying to the director, taking control of their movie, pulling the rug from them.
She has made herself into the new Amber Heard. And now he's going full Johnny Depp on her to show that she was the bully. She was the one harassing him.
That she became uncomfortable with Justin Baldoni yesterday while she was filming. She states that Mr. Baldoni put his bare hands on her backside and said that he was trying to help her with her posture. Complainant immediately voiced her displeasure with being touched on an intimate part of her body, and Mr. Baldoni responded with, "It's fine. I'm totally hot for my wife," in a dismissive tone.
They just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. That wasn't fulfilling for me. Be a part of the narrative in the writing and the costume design and creating the character. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that.
Well, I actually knew of the film before I knew of Colleen's book, which is, I know, a unique entry point, but I think because I just have 1,000 children, I, have missed all of pop culture. Her significant impact in the world of books. I mean, so many of her books are on the New York Times bestseller. I mean, it's crazy.
She admitted to trying to poison the cast of Gossip Girl, which is where she made her name. They released the cut of the movie. He didn't even get to see it. He was the director of the film, the producer of the film, the guy who got the rights to the film, the one who's supposed to be in control. He didn't even get to see it. He was in the basement at his own movie premiere. Her husband are bullies.
I believe the court date is set to be, like a year from now, like next March or something like that.
Justin says that Blake was determined to make him the real-life villain in her story because she wasn't doing well on the promo tour for the movie. It was very tone deaf. Her hair care line wasn't doing well. She was trying to sell booze while talking about domestic violence. Justin says the war between himself and Blake really started in May 2023 when they started shooting the movie. He claims that she was organizing a takeover.
The subpoena landed on Hugh Jackman's doorstep, shattering decades of carefully manufactured Hollywood loyalty in an instant. For months, the world watched the brutal $400 million war brewing between Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, and Ryan Reynolds from a safe distance. But when Baldoni's legal team officially named Wolverine himself as a key witness to private behind-the-scenes intimidation, Jackman could no longer remain neutral. The golden boy of Marvel was suddenly forced under oath to answer the unthinkable. Did his closest comedic partner cross the line from playful teasing into calculated personal destruction? The silence broke and the industry panicked. Justin Baldoni's staggering $400 million legal filing was never just about creative differences. It was a full-scale declaration of war against Hollywood's most powerful couple. For over a year, Baldoni endured whispers and public humiliation while trying to protect his reputation as a thoughtful, sensitive filmmaker. But when documents hit the court clerk's desk detailing systematic defamation, coordinated smear campaigns, and toxic workplace behavior, the narrative flipped entirely. Baldoni made it undeniably clear that he was coming for accountability, financial retribution, and the total dismantling of their untouchable public image. The toxic conflict began long before lawyers got involved, tracing back to May 2023 when filming on It Ends With Us first commenced. Baldoni had acquired the book rights, financed the development, and sat in the director's chair ready to tell a deeply vulnerable story about domestic violence. Yet within weeks of shooting, an unmistakable chill settled over the entire production as an aggressive power struggle took hold behind closed doors. Baldoni alleged that an organized takeover strategy was quietly orchestrated from day one, systematically stripping him of creative control over his own passion project. Blake Lively was not interested in simply showing up, standing on designated marks, and delivering scripted lines for another director. Insiders revealed that she took relentless control of the narrative, dictating costume decisions, overriding scene blocking, and bringing in unauthorized script revisions that blindsided production heads. When Baldoni pushed back to preserve the emotional core of the source material, he was reportedly met with severe resentment and open defiance. The set quickly divided into rival camps, transforming a sensitive adaptation into an exhausting, high-stakes psychological war zone. The breaking point arrived at the film's star-studded red carpet premiere, where the humiliation turned painfully public for everyone watching. While Lively celebrated center stage alongside A-list friends and family, the actual director and producer of the film was completely isolated from the festivities. Reports surfaced that Baldoni was essentially relegated to viewing rooms in the basement of his own movie launch, entirely barred from sharing the spotlight. The optics were utterly devastating, sending a clear signal that the creative forces who birthed the film had been ruthlessly purged from its triumph. Behind the creative power struggle lay deeply personal allegations regarding physical boundaries and dismissive backstage comments that escalated tensions beyond repair. During one specific scene rehearsal, an interaction regarding body posture led to an immediate official complaint about unwelcome physical contact on set. When the issue was raised directly, the response from leadership was reportedly met with casual flippancy and dismissive remarks rather than professional accountability. What should have been handled with care quickly transformed into documented evidence, providing fuel for a catastrophic legal assault. Lively's promotional tour only intensified the public backlash as audiences noticed a jarring disconnect in how the project was being marketed. While Baldoni gave solemn interviews addressing the harsh realities of relationship trauma, Lively used the platform to promote luxury hair care lines and themed cocktails. Audiences began calling out what appeared to be an astonishingly tone-deaf media strategy that trivialized the movie's core themes for personal commercial gain. As negative sentiment surged across social media, the blame game shifted rapidly behind closed doors, creating a race to control the emerging narrative. That was when Ryan Reynolds reportedly entered the fray, leveraging his massive influence and razor-sharp wit to protect the family brand at all costs. What fans perceive as harmless, self-deprecating comedy online allegedly took on a much darker edge when directed at an industry rival behind closed doors. Rumors began circulating that Reynolds engaged in targeted ridiculing, mocking Baldoni's sincere, emotionally grounded persona through private channels and industry circles. The campaign was designed to paint Baldoni as weak, difficult, and out of touch, escalating the dispute into personal territory. The hostility allegedly escalated into blockbuster filmmaking with the suspicious creation of a parody character known as Nice Pool in the Deadpool franchise. Insiders claim the character's exaggerated sensitivity, gentle demeanor, and soft-spoken earnestness were crafted as a pointed mockery of Baldoni's real-life image. Instead of keeping personal industry feuds off the screen, creative discussions reportedly turned Baldoni into an inside Hollywood punchline on a global stage. The intentional parallels were glaring enough that Baldoni's legal team officially integrated the creative insult into their massive lawsuit. Transforming a personal grudge into multi-million-dollar franchise content created massive legal vulnerability for everyone involved in the production. Baldoni's attorneys argued that the parody was not merely comedic parody, but deliberate, targeted workplace bullying designed to undermine his professional credibility across the industry. When millions of viewers worldwide laughed at the on-screen caricature, they had no idea they were witnessing an expensive, calculated jab born from backstage hostility. The line between creative expression and targeted harassment had been crossed, setting up unprecedented legal consequences. This is where Hugh Jackman found himself dragged directly into a scandal he spent months trying desperately to avoid. Having co-starred in the massive comic book blockbuster, Jackman was present during the brainstorming sessions, script reads, and on-set banter where these creative concepts originated. As one of Reynolds' closest friends and collaborators, Jackman possessed first-hand knowledge of the true intent behind the jokes. Baldoni's legal team recognized that Jackman's eyewitness perspective held the power to validate or completely destroy Reynolds' comedic defense. Subpoena notices demanded that Jackman sit for formal deposition under penalty of perjury, leaving no room for diplomatic evasiveness or Hollywood PR spin. The questions awaiting him were brutally direct. Did Reynolds explicitly state that the Nice Pool character was based on Justin Baldoni during production meetings? Did Jackman witness coordinated efforts to ridicule the director during creative writing sessions? For an actor who has spent decades cultivating an immaculate, drama-free reputation, the prospect of taking the stand was an absolute nightmare scenario. Sources close to the Australian star reveal that Jackman has broken his private silence, expressing deep frustration over being weaponized in someone else's war. The pressure to protect his long-standing friendship with Reynolds is clashing violently with his legal obligation to tell the unvarnished truth under oath. Jackman reportedly made it clear to his inner circle that he will not commit perjury or sacrifice his hard-earned integrity for any celebrity squabble. The realization that Wolverine's testimony could deliver a fatal blow to Reynolds has sent shockwaves through their entire team. What Jackman observed during the high-pressure filming schedule could dismantle the carefully crafted narrative that the jokes were entirely harmless. If Jackman confirms that Reynolds and Lively actively targeted Baldoni during creative discussions, the defense strategy of playful coincidence collapses instantly in court. Jurors would see a coordinated effort by two mega celebrities to punch down at a director who dared to challenge their authority. The stakes could not be higher, and Jackman's impending deposition is now viewed as the ultimate pivot point of the entire litigation. The situation grew exponentially more hazardous when reports surfaced regarding a treasure trove of leaked audio recordings, voicemails, and text messages. Baldoni allegedly preserved digital receipts documenting candid, unfiltered conversations that contradict the public statements issued by his opponents. In these recordings, the tone shifts dramatically from polished Hollywood charisma to aggressive, condescending backstage maneuvering aimed at sidelining the filmmaker. If these audio files are played aloud in an open courtroom, the public relations fallout will be virtually impossible to contain. The emergence of these private recordings threatens to permanently shatter the illusion of Ryan Reynolds as Hollywood's universally beloved nice guy. For years, audiences have embraced his quick-witted, harmless persona, making him one of the most bankable and relatable stars in modern entertainment history. But when private mockery and ruthless business tactics are exposed to daylight, public adoration can transform into bitter betrayal overnight. Audiences do not react kindly when their favorite stars are revealed to be the very bullies they mock on screen. Behind the scenes at Marvel Studios, panic is setting in as top executives realize their billion-dollar cinematic universe is collateral damage in this dispute. A franchise built on universal family appeal cannot afford to have its headline stars tied up in ugly $400 million defamation trials. Studio heads are reportedly furious that an alleged personal grudge was injected into a major tentpole release, creating unneeded exposure for corporate holders. The fear of brand contamination is prompting emergency meetings across executive suites. Kevin Feige and high-level studio leadership have maintained an eerie, deafening silence, deliberately avoiding public comments while assessing legal exposure. Whispers suggest that Marvel may have quietly altered promotional packages and deleted scene archives to minimize association with the controversial material before the trial begins. However, erasing digital footprints cannot undo sworn testimony from lead actors who were in the room when decisions were made. Marvel's attempts to insulate itself may prove futile if court proceedings force executive communications into public records. For Blake Lively, the consequences of this escalating courtroom battle threaten to permanently derail her mainstream Hollywood career and commercial ventures. Comparisons to recent high-profile celebrity defamation trials have exploded across social media, with critics dissecting her every interview for signs of manipulation. Her lifestyle ventures, beauty brands, and future film attachments are facing intense scrutiny from skeptical consumers who feel completely alienated by the ongoing drama. The Golden Girl image that took 2 decades to construct is unraveling in real time. Major corporate sponsors and international brand partners are watching the legal proceedings with extreme caution, ready to pull multi-million-dollar deals at a moment's notice. In modern entertainment, corporate risk assessment moves rapidly, and no lifestyle brand will risk consumer boycotts to protect an embroiled star. If Jackman's deposition confirms widespread misconduct, or if damaging audio recordings are authenticated in court, commercial endorsements will vanish almost instantly. The financial ramifications will extend far beyond the courtroom's $400 million demand. Reynolds and Lively are reportedly coming to the grim realization that their immense wealth and star power cannot make this legal nightmare vanish quietly. Baldoni has shown zero appetite for cheap settlement checks or non-disclosure agreements, signaling that he intends to take this fight straight to a public jury trial. With trial dates looming on the judicial calendar, the era of controlling the narrative through friendly media outlets and charming PR drops has officially come to an end. The courtroom does not care about star power, it only cares about evidence. The impending deposition of Hugh Jackman represents the moment of truth that could crack the entire Hollywood establishment wide open for the public. When Wolverine takes the stand under oath, every private joke, whispered insult, and backstage maneuver will be laid bare under relentless legal cross-examination. Friends will be forced to testify against friends, corporate giants will scramble for cover, and the polished veneer of celebrity harmony will finally be stripped away. There will be nowhere left to hide once the official transcripts are entered into the permanent record. This explosive legal clash serves as a sobering reminder that Hollywood's sparkling facade rarely reflects the ruthless reality lurking just behind the curtain. Audiences are finally seeing how easily charm and charisma can be weaponized against those with less institutional power in the entertainment hierarchy. As Justin Baldoni stands his ground against two of the industry's biggest titans, the outcome of this trial will forever change how power dynamics operate on movie sets. The silence has broken, the truth is coming to light, and the reckoning will spare no one involved.